This being Grand National Day, we will, of course, start with the 5:15 and the Randox Health Grand National, in which the fantastic Tiger Roll attempts to follow up his great victory last year. He is the shortest price favourite I can ever remember. He's going to get even shorter. Frank, take it away with a nice big show of betting, and hopefully you've got some good news on some extra places for us as well.
Yeah, Tiger Roll is 4-1, Rathfinden 10-1, Annabelle Fly, Vintage Clouds are both 12-1, Lakeview Lad 14-1, Pleasant Company, Rock the Casbah, Jury Duty, Joe Farrell 16-1, Ramses de Taye is 22-1, One for Arthur, Step Back, Up for Review, Walk in the Mill 25-1, Noble Endeavour 28-1, and we're 33's bar.
And how many places?
We are 6 places on the national.
6 places, fantastic, excellent. Okay, we need to start with Tiger Roll. We need to start with Kills' jacket. Very snazzy today, Kills. The Best Turned Out award has been well and truly secured. You look very smart indeed.
Very much, yeah.
What do we do with Tiger Roll? He's 4-1. We all know he's the likeliest winner. You're not going to turn around and say he's value. What are you going to do with Tiger Roll?
I'm not going to do anything with him. I'm not going to back him because I can't bet 4-1 in a 40-runner race. But I was at a London Racing Club on Tuesday night, and the panel said, "Put your hands up if you think Tiger Roll's going to win the national." And it must have been about 80% said yes. It's just, he's a fantastic little horse, isn't he? I mean,
is he that clear though? If you just do a forensic, we all know his CV's absolutely astonishing, but on a forensic pounds and ounces.
Well, if you believe. He's not the. I think Para Brown Eyes came out. He was the actual most well-in horse officially, but I think it is Tiger Roll the joint most well-in horse now. He's £8 well-in, having gone up for Cheltenham now. I mean, you might want to poo-poo the cross-country form, but he beat the 2 horses who are absolute specialists at that. And he did it in a canter by 22 lengths. He won a 2.5-mile Grade 2 hurdle before that. I mean, can you think of a Grand National winner that would be capable of doing that in the last 40, 50 years? I can't think of any. And I think he probably would have gone very close in the Gold Cup. So, I think, he's definitely the horse to beat. He's very nimble. I mean, he ducked out of the way of I Just Know, fella Beeches right in front of him last year, and he just sidestepped him. And, as long as he gets the run of the race, he's going to be there at the end, isn't he? Sure he is.
People have 16-1 each way bets. There's a 4-1 element of that, isn't there, Kills? So, it's not like backing 4-1 is a bad experience, is it? Put it this way, would you say you wouldn't put anyone off?
Oh, well, I wouldn't blame anybody for backing him. It's just like that's not the way I bet in big fields. It's as simple as that. But
okay, we'll find out who you do fancy before we get the lads' view on Tiger Roll. DJ, is he for you in any way, shape or form?
I think with Tiger Roll, you don't need to back him, to be honest with you, because I think we're all going to be absolutely thrilled if he wins, apart from Frank probably. But he's just one of them public horses that we all love, and the key thing is that he's just a different horse this year. Like, I've spoke to Keith Donoghue constantly about Tiger Roll, and he says, with Tiger Roll for about 5 years, it was trying to get him to travel. You're kicking him, you're pushing him, you're trying to get him enthusiastic. Now it's flipped, and it's the opposite, and that he's so keen, loving it so much, he's so enthusiastic. That's why he's a different horse this year, and that'll obviously suit around Aintree as well.
And DJ, is there a good vibe in the Irish media? Is he making headlines over there? Is everyone up for it?
Yeah, I think I was talking to somebody about this the other day. I think if he does win the Grand National, it will possibly be the biggest story in Irish racing for decades.
Great.
Because that's how big it is, and it's going to make front pages rather than back pages in the Independent and the Times over here. And
Frank, how much of a kick in the groin financially would it be for Paddy Power if Tiger Roll gets it done?
From an anti-post perspective, he's a very heavy loser. It's not so bad since maybe we went on run no bet there a few weeks ago. Obviously last year was a nightmare. When I say we get a shiver down our spine thinking of Tiger Roll, I'm not exaggerating. It was like a funeral home in here when he got held on last year. It was a horrific result for us. We were very much against him on the day, and we got filled in, and we paid the price.
Are you too short now at 4s?
I really don't think so. I think with what he's done this year, with the way he won at Navan over hurdles and the way he won the cross country, I don't think the rise in weights will stop him. We were even talking about what price is he to complete and then to get round without being hampered, and then what price would you be if you're said he'd get a clear run at it. 4-1 wouldn't be a price I'd back in a Grand National, but I wouldn't be mad to be going 5-1, 6-1 to lay him either. Like, I think if we went that sort of a price, I think there's every chance you'd have a very nasty looking field book.
And I think a good way to look at it, Frank, is 4-1 says if you ran this race 5 times, he'd win 1. I mean, you'd think that would be within his capability, wouldn't you?
Well, like, as in, I know he's all out to hang on last year, but I mean, the way he went through the race was just incredible to watch. Like, he went through it very easy, jumped well, did everything very easy, and it's only the last 100 yards he started to tie up. Now, you could argue he's carrying extra weight this year, and maybe that might be enough to stop him, and it might well do. It's very difficult to win a Grand National twice, but off the top of my head, the likes of Hedge Hunter and Comply or Die have come back and given it a right go the second year. So I expect him, like, if he gets a clear run, I expect him to be in the first 4 anyway.
Okay, right then, who is the value bet, Kills?
Right, well,
Have more than one going.
No. I mean, I've backed loads, but I mean, my initial one a few weeks ago was Rock the Casbah, but I'm a little bit worried about the rain that we've had now. I know it's likely to dry out and it's not going to be very soft, but I've sort of gone off him a little bit now. I still like Step Back. Can't get it out of my head the way he won the Bet365 Gold Cup last year at Sandown. That was only his 4th start over fences. It came just 3 weeks after he'd broken his duck at Fakenham, and he literally tore lengths out of the field at every single fence, and he just won by 13 lengths going away. Now, I can't believe that Mark Bradstock's had anything other than this race in his mind ever since, and he's only run twice. The bold jumping was still in evidence. He just hasn't seen out his races, but I'd imagine he'll be absolutely fit as a fiddle and primed for this. Slight worry that he does edge to his right a little bit at his fences, but I mean, Aintree's is sort of a series of long straights rather than a left-handed track, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's just a sort of very big wide course. I can't see it being that much of a problem. And if he gets into a rhythm for Nico de Boinville out front, I think he has to go really well. He does stay very, very strongly.
So he's your main tip.
He's the main one now. You have to bear in mind that on the 2 occasions in the last 10 years that the ground has been soft, the Irish have accounted for 5 of the first 6 home both times. So you've got to give them plenty. And obviously Rathvinden, last year's 4-mile winner's got a big chance. I think Annabelle Fly had a hard enough race at Cheltenham this year to put me off at 12-1. But and obviously Gordon Elliott's got loads in the race. Brilliant piece of sales from Gigginstown, and it's enter loads in the race and then sell the ones that have gone at the game for.
You were bidding for your old mate Don Poley, dropped out at 2,000 guineas.
Exactly, yes. sell them at 10 times the true market price just because they're running in the national. What a brilliant bit of business that is. But no, I think one of his Dunikos is quite interesting at 33-1 with Paddy's. It's He last year he won a Grade 2 on heavy ground over 2 mile 3 furlong. Finished very close 4th to Mona Lee in a Grade 1 over 2 mile 5, and he was a bit of a slow starter this year. But he won the Punchestown trial. That's 3 mile 4.5 furlong, and he looked like he relished every yard of it. And he was quite commanding at the death. And I thought, that sort of price for a horse that looks like he's going to relish the trip. He's got Jack Kennedy on it. Who's
feels like a strong recent in terms of the recent profile. That ticks a lot of boxes.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, I only really stumbled on him last night. Like, when the rain came, I thought I'd better have a proper look at all these Irish horses. Another go, and I was looking. Obviously, General Principle won the Irish National on heavy ground last year. But I thought Dunikos, he's a young, he's 8-year-old like Tiger Roll. Young horse coming into the race off a career best win over his first run over a proper staying trip. Okay. He's got a fair profile.
Right, we'll give you Step Back and Duna because you will have the chance for a glory shot with a 1, 2, 3 in a minute. DJ, who are your best bets for the Grand National?
The one I backed is Manila Rocco at 40-1, which would be.
Anyway, move on to the one you think will win.
Which will be devastation to Frank because obviously he fancied him at Cheltenham, and he ran a remarkable race in Cheltenham in that he didn't jump particularly badly. He actually jumped quite well, I thought, down the back at Cheltenham, and he jumped about 7 fences and then he was pulled up, which was obviously a little bit worrying. But he is an incredibly similar profile to Don't Push It, who won the Grand National a couple of years ago, obviously for John Joe. With Manila Rocco, obviously the ground is a little bit of a concern. I really fancied him for the race last year and he was taken out at the last minute because it was heavy ground. It's going to be a little bit quicker than that this year, I think. And it just strikes me that since he won that 4-miler at Cheltenham and since he was second to Size and John in the Gold Cup, we all have him down as this hasn't fulfilled his potential, not the horse we thought he was. And then you go back and you see in the last year and a half, he's only had 4 runs, and one of those was over hurdles. And I just get the impression, since he's had the wind operation, that this has constantly been the plan. Apparently his schooling over the national fences has gone absolutely brilliantly. Richie McLaren rides him, who was so unlucky with Sonny Hill Boy in the race a couple of years ago. And if he ran the race last year, I think he was up 162 or 163. He's up 155 this year. I think John Joe has been very, very patient with Manila Rocco. If it hadn't rained as much as it did, I'd be really, really sweet in him. Because it's rained, I'm not quite as sweet. But at 40-1, I think he's the best value in the race.
Who else do you like? You can have one more.
Okay, I'm going to go for one then. Similar theory to Paul is Mombeg Notorious, who won the Tayestis on heavy ground. Again, hasn't had as many runs as you would have thought. Like his form figures are shocking going into the race. But I did a piece with Eddie O'Leary during the week, and he said, I was talking about the colours. I said, which colours will Tiger Roll wear? And he says, we'll give Tiger Roll the first colours. He says, but unlike in Ireland when HRI do it for them, he said, the BHA want us to pick the colours of the caps. And I said to him, have you got a lucky cap? He goes, you wouldn't believe how lucky blue is for us. He says, every horse we seem to put a blue cap on ruled the world when he won the Grand National and other grade ones as well. And it's funny that Mombeg Notorious is in the blue cap. And I just think the way the ground has gone, he was virgin on grade 2, grade 1 class 2 years ago, and I think the rain will suit him. So Mombeg Notorious at 6-6-1, Manila Rocco, if you get 40s, will be my 2 pokes.
Okay, the lads are peppering some long shots in. Frank, who's your main fancy?
My main fancy, I don't think it comes as a surprise, Vintage Clouds. I wouldn't be surprised if something beats him, because he has a dose of seconditis. Really, I'm just looking here. He's had 26 career starts and he's had 11 seconds. So he has a bit of an issue with coming second. But his record is pretty decent in the whole. He's finished 4th in the Welsh National, 3rd in the Scottish National, placed in the last 2 runnings of the Ultima. The wind up seemed to do the trick at Cheltenham. Like, if you go back and watch the race, he's at it quite early down the back while other horses are travelling all around. You think, he's going to fall out the back of the telly here, and he just kept finding, and actually at the end he's staying on again, and you think in another 50 yards he would have caught Beware the Bear. Now what was interesting is it looked like it was a strong enough pace, but it actually wasn't that strong early in the race, and I think if they had gone really hard, he may actually have won the Ultima. Now, the only time he's ever been to Aintree was the start of last season when he absolutely bolted in the handicap chase. That was only off a mark of 132, but he won by 18 lengths. So the track, I think, should hold no worry for him. I'd imagine he's a safe enough jumper in the main. He's fallen twice in his career. Now, that's the limit of where you're going to draw the line, 2 falls maximum. But I think if there's one horse that's bar Tiger Roll that's going to hit the frame with a clear round, this is the one. I was very sweet in him last year. He missed out by 1. I think he'll go very close. Might
you consider having a forecast of Tiger Roll to beat you?
No, I won't. I'm just going to get stuck into Vintage Clouds each way. And I think David mightn't want to hear this, but I backed Manila Rocco before the Ultima for the Grand National because I was anticipating a good run at Cheltenham. I still wouldn't give up on him completely. If it was a bit better ground, I'd be very confident that he'd run a decent race. At 40-1, he's one that I think it's worth taking a chance at that sort of price. He has the back class, and if he takes the fences, I wouldn't be surprised to see him run a huge race. And the other one I mentioned is just general principle. He won the Irish National in bad ground. He was 3rd in the national trial there recently. He hasn't had too many goals at beyond 3 miles, and he's unexposed enough over that trip, I think, to consider.
Kills, tell me why, if Tiger Roll's 4-1, Pleasant Company beaten ahead by him last year and with a £3 pull and a more national focused campaign isn't value at 4 times the price.
You certainly can't argue that he is, and you can't knock his preparation either. He's got every chance. The only thing is, Tiger Roll was winning the race very easily last year and then stopped. Ground, although we had all that rain yesterday, the ground isn't going to be anywhere near as heavy. Whether that suits Pleasant Company more than Tiger Roll, I don't know, but there's no knocking a horse that ran so well last year. He's got a chance.
Let's do the 1, 2, 3s. Keels.
I'll go Step Back, Dunikos, and I can't kick Tiger Roll out of 3.
Okay, DJ.
I'm going to go for a spectacular one as well. Manila Rocco, Mombeg Notorious, and Rock the Casbah. If I get that up, that is retirement.
Oh, I thought you loved working for the Racing Post.
I do, yeah.
You've got to do those. You've got to do those trifectas, Dave.
Yeah, you got in the Gold Cup, didn't you?
Yeah, sneaked one in the Gold Cup. Yeah.
That was That was some bet, wasn't it? Are you allowed to declare it?
6 bags of sand for £1.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Beautiful.
Great
Beautiful.
effort. Great effort. I think yours will pay a bit more than 6 bags, DJ, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I'd pay probably 60 bags.
Frank, what's the 1, 2, 3 in the National? Nice, easy one for you.
Throw something spectacular out there and go for Vintage Clouds to beat General Principle in Manila Rocco.
Manila Rocco. Okay, lads, thank you very much. Good stuff. Let's take in...
Bruce, what do you fancy? I know you fancied Maldini, but what do you fancy?
I did fancy Maldini. I now think Pleasant Company's got a really good chance. I've got a ridiculous sort of thing where I can't stop looking at the... what's the Jessica Harrington thing?
Magic of Light?
Yeah, Magic of Light. I'm not saying I don't know why, but I kind of just... I've got it down as well. I think when the ground gets soft, I think some of these Irish horses, as Keel says, they just you've got to pay particular attention to them.
Is that going to stay?
It might not.
Chaps? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'd be a little bit worried about her staying all right. But I thought at Newbury earlier on the year she was very good, and it'd be a great story because Jack's brother Paddy, who has been sick, he rides Magic of Light, and do you know the way the National likes to pen one of these fairy tales? That could be it.
Okay, but anyway, we'll move on to what you lads think because you're the judges. I'm a total guesser.